From the Intellifluence headquarters in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona, this is the Intellifluence Influencer Spotlight. In each episode, we sit down with an influencer from our network and we discuss their background as well as their unique approach to influencer marketing. Kristen Live is a South Florida-based lifestyle influencer with a background in psychology. A former marriage and family addictions therapist turned full-time content creator, Kristen represents 1/3 of the Toxics Anonymous podcast, a safe place for recovering toxics to recognize and admit to their toxic traits, share testimonies, toxic tales, and learn coping strategies to lead individuals away from a toxic cycle. You can follow Kristen Live on all major social networks, including Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. Kristen, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with us. We really appreciate it. I'm interested to hear a little bit about your background, particularly I see your background's in psychology as well. Could you tell us about?
Yes, so I got my master's degree in psychology back in 2015. So it was quite a while ago. I did work in the field for 2 years. I worked as a therapist for addictions. So an addictions counselor, marriage and family therapist per se. And then I kind of just took a different route because I had a lot of opportunities with the social media world. At the time, it was just kind of starting to begin to boom. There wasn't really like necessarily influencers back then, but there was like a lot of modeling jobs and that kind of stuff. So I started going that route and more of the arts and entertainment. And then the rest was history. Once the social media stuff started going, I definitely paid a little bit more attention to that. So I left my job as a therapist, and I've been doing this ever since.
That's wonderful. And I noticed that you've started a podcast and you kind of hit the ground running. I saw one of the guests recently, Jamie Foxx. So that's off to a really good start.
Yeah, that was our second episode. Jamie is a really good friend of ours. So he did us a huge favor, which was amazing, just to kind of like give our podcast a little notoriety. So yeah, we started off with a bang, but my podcast is called Toxics Anonymous. And it's kind of a play on words of what I used to do as a therapist. So I did addictions counseling, and a lot of the therapist support groups are called like Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. So Toxics Anonymous is kind of the same idea. This is a support group for people that have either lived in toxic environments or are toxic themselves and want to get out of those kind of situations. They tune into Toxics Anonymous. So we discuss solutions and different, testimonies, conversations between people that either have expertise of how to not be toxic, how to get out of toxic situations, or people that are toxic and are looking for ways to change.
It sounds like it encompasses all of us to a certain degree. We probably all have a trait or two that we could do better on.
Absolutely. Yeah, myself included. So that's kind of how we start each episode. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm a former toxic girl. Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you guys.
I love it. And then let's talk brand partnerships. What have been some of your favorites, or have there been any that have been a little off base? Sometimes brands don't do their due diligence when reaching out to influencers and might have asked if they'll market a product that's really not, in your niche.
I mean, I've had a lot of those that, I generally don't take those kind of deals when it doesn't coincide with my brand. But I've worked with some pretty big brands like Samsung, Netflix, like Amazon, that kind of stuff. So on those kinds of scale, I feel like those can encompass any influencer. That's like any influencer stream to work with those kind of brands. But, when I see something that I don't really agree with or I don't use, I tend to stay away from that kind of thing. Or I say, okay, well, I'm interested to try your product, but I would like to try it for like a month or so just to see if I like it and see if this is something that I can promote.
Want to join Intellifluence as an influencer? It's free, easy, and you get to keep 100% of your earnings. Go to Intellifluence.com, click or tap influencers, then click or tap the join for free button. Once you have registered for free as an influencer, you can start creating offers with custom pricing and services. Brands can pitch you to work with them via these offers. Once you have created your offers, head over to the marketplace and browse opportunities for brands. Apply to any and all that are a great fit. Earn cash quickly by referring your friends and family. I'm always a sucker for kind of day in the life of content. With all that you have going on with your podcast, with your social media, everything. So how do you structure your average day so you can get everything completed that you want to get completed, still have a little bit of time for yourself?
It never works off of a schedule. It's always just random. So every week is different. I think that that's actually a good thing for me because I'm someone that has a very short attention span. So I like that I never know what to expect. I know that's not for everybody. But for me, I do have certain things that are locked in routine. Like I have a schedule of when I have to post every day. And I know that around from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern time is when I'm putting like a hard post on social media, usually a reel or a TikTok or whatnot. I usually run those two platforms. Luckily, I can link my Facebook to that so that it's not like posting on every single platform independently. And then at 7:30 p.m., I go live every day, Monday through Friday. So those things are set in stone. Those really just keep like a schedule for my followers to expect that they're going to see me around these kind of times, and it keeps them a lot more engaged. And then other than that, as far as like content days, it's just whatever comes up. It might be off of location. I might be out of the country getting content. So I have to really be flexible with that sort of thing. Because luckily a lot of content can be created remotely. You don't necessarily have to be in a specific location to create those things. You just have to bring certain things that you need with you. So I like to be flexible. I like to keep it open as possible.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then with your podcast, going back to guests, I mean, yeah, it's always surprising to me who will say, yeah, I'll talk, for an hour or half an hour. And it's really cool. Just ask, and the worst thing they can say is no, but oftentimes they say yes. Who are, can you think of several dream podcast guests that you would love to speak to?
So, what's really funny is that a lot of our audience really wants to see like a cross interview with Andrew Tate. I'm not a fan of Andrew Tate at all. It's actually the opposite, but we believe on the podcast that he's so toxic. I think it would be an interesting interview. Although I don't like to call guest interviews. It's not an interview, it's a podcast. So it's more of a conversation. So it would be more of like a co-host or a guest host. But I guess the people are looking for something like that. So I don't know, maybe that, or another thing, they were saying like a toxic couple. They were like, maybe get Johnny Depp and Amber Heard in there or something to have a conversation about their toxic relationship.
Oh man, if you could get them in the same room.
That would be insane, but yeah, you never know.
Oh man, exactly. Stranger things have happened. So what can we expect from the podcast or from you as your personal brand going into 2023? I guess we're already in March. What are some goals for this year in terms of what you want to accomplish or how you want to grow?
So currently now we're just trying to get more, we're only on episode 8 of our podcast, so we're just trying to get it out there. And, we've had some great guests already, but I think we're going to scale back a little bit and just do more solo episodes. So it's me and 2 of my good friends that host the podcast, Aisha Talia and Baby D. And we want our viewers to get to know us as a unit. And that way, you'll keep on coming back for more rather than just being like, oh, I'm just going to tune in just because Jamie Foxx was on the show, and then that way you'll get to know our way, the way that we think, and our different unique personalities. And then you could figure out which host you like the best and whatnot. And you could be either team Kristen or team Baby D, team Aisha, whatever it is. So we're going to start focusing a little bit more on that, the individual branding of the podcast.
Wonderful. So where do we send people to go hear it?
We're actually available on a lot of the platforms. So most of the major platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, also YouTube has our video podcast, iHeartRadio, and pretty much anywhere that you get your podcasts, you can find us.
The Intellifluence for Influencers app enables you to earn free products or cash in exchange for your honest reviews using your mobile device. Upon logging in, or signing up for free if you haven't already, you will arrive at your custom dashboard where you can view transactions that need your attention at a glance or browse our recommended offers from brands. Check out marketplace offers from brands and apply to your favorites. Once you accept a pitch from a brand, you can complete the entire transaction anywhere using your mobile device and communicate with the brand using our intuitive messaging tool. You will never have to go outside the app. View your earnings summary, including upcoming payments, as well as your entire history. You can view your influencer profile strength and make any necessary updates to your profile to put you in better position to be pitched. Edit your details such as compensation preferences and social accounts with ease. If you could ever use some help, you can access the Intellifluence knowledge base or contact support at any time from the app. As an influencer, there are never any fees associated with using our influencer marketing service, and you get to keep all of your earnings. Download the free Intellifluence for Influencers app today and get started.